Pow Toons is an unbelievable resource for creating animated videos and presentations. It's great for teachers to use to make tutorials, and even for students, instead of a PowerPoint or the usual things that they've been making Prezi, they can do a Pow Toon. It's very, very powerful, very involved, and a lot of fun. So as soon as you sign up, this is the page that you'll see. You'll sign up for free. Okay, and once you do, you'll have what you call a dashboard. Now there are two sides to Pow Toons. They just recently also added something called slides, which is more of a PowerPoint but with the same sort of presentations. But today we're going to focus on Studio. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few things to get you started. It's a very, very intensive program, so I'd like to show you some of the basics so you can get started and then you can play around to see what it can do. This is your dashboard, so this is where you would have the ones that you have created. So I've created one about conclusions already, and you can create a new one. So what I'm going to show you today is we're going to work off the one that I've created already and go through some of the elements. So the first one I created is called Drawing Conclusions. So once you hit create, this is the screen you will see. A lot of options. Basically, Pow Toons works on a timeline concept. So if you look over here down the left, these are all the slides in this one Pow Toon. Each time you click on one and put it in over here, that's the timing right here for that one frame. So this does one frame at a time. Okay, and then you can pick different templates. So what I did was pick a template and then adjust it. When you pick a template, after that you pick something called a style. And if you look up here, you can arrow right and left. This style is the one that came with the template I picked, so I kept most of the elements from that. If it has this more button over it, that means you have to pay for it. There are some things you can upgrade and pay for in Pow Toon, but there are so many free options, you really don't need to pay for it, especially in the beginning, because there are so many options. It's really incredible how much they do give you for free. So just to show you, if you go along here, okay, more, then it'll say upgrade now, you can't use that grouping. But if you click over sections, you'll see that there are things, different buttons, different icons, different styles. So let's go back to the one that I am using so I can explain some of these things to you. Text effects, okay, and because it's such a small area, you can see in each of these areas they have something called more, so you would click on. So right here there are text effects. If you click on more, that's all the text effects. Now, the best part about it is if you hover, it'll show you what it does. So you won't have to put it into your presentation and then take it out if you don't like it. So if you hover over this one, okay, that's just plain text. It's not going to do anything. You hover on this one, handwriting, it shows you. And if you just stay hovered, if you need to get off and go back on and you want to see it again, it shows you. So it'll look like a person actually writing out the words. Here's word by word. Okay, word scaling down. Here's one where we'll kind of bounce the letters in. The letters will roll in, word by word, and letter by letter. Okay, so those are some different options you have for the text that you're going to actually put in. Okay, image holders are something for placing pictures. So if you want to put a frame to put a picture on the inside, these things all are for holding images. Okay, a computer screen if you want to look like something's on the screen. Okay, then you come into another whole area called animated characters, and this one is pretty extensive. So I'm going to hit more so you can see them all. And if you scroll down, you'll see a number of characters. So they have male characters, happy, jumping up and down. They could be snoring. Okay, then they have women with the same sort of ones that the men have, the happy, jumping up and down. They seem to have a girl character or a boy character, he's waving. And then they have a girl character. Okay, and you may want to, because there's so many of them, hit less just to bring it up so you can see the next part. So the props, these are just some things you may want to have: a heart, a flower, and there are ways to make the heart move back and forth. Looks like it's pumping. Recycle. So there's many symbols here that you may want to use. And I'm also going to make that less so we can see them. Markers. Here's are things where you want to, maybe if you have text or you're trying to point something out, you can insert an arrow, okay, or X over something that you want to, not isn't the right answer, or you want to really highlight. Action buttons. Okay, these are buttons that you can put there or put words in it to say click here to bring you to another section of the Pow Toon. There are several shapes that you can add, and you can customize all of these, changing colors, different things. Transitions are what you use when you go from slide to slide. So if, let's say from the first slide here to the second slide, it's usually a fade or a zoom out, things like that, that maybe you want to show, to have add a little more visual interest. Okay, there's like a Ouija wipe going down, there's a fade, a zoom in and out, camera left. Okay, so those are some of the things that you do afterwards to kind of enhance the look of your show. You can also change the background color, and some of them have some patterns. Again, if you hit more, it has a whole lot of other ones. And what changes with these styles is if you go to a different style, okay, so you go to that one, we can see there's different types of characters. So as the other one had sort of like a colors and bubbles, this is like a black and white. The characters are a different type of character. The shapes, okay, transitions for the most part are the same. Some of them are different, but there'll be different backgrounds. So you can mix and match. Let's say that I like the coloring of the other style I was using, but I want to insert a character like this from this one. You can do that within all of this one project. So for now, I'm going to just go back to our style that we've chosen, and I want to get back to this idea of this timeline. So each frame is, there's a timeline down for here. So you can see this frame, because it's my introductory frame, is only 2 seconds. Then it pulls down, here's my transitions, says it here, to this title. So this next frame, since it contains my title, is a little longer. It's 9 seconds. And as you're looking at the time frame down here of each slide, if you use the plus or the minus is where you can add time. So if I wanted longer than 9 seconds, I would go up to 13. No, I want to keep it at 9, so I'm going to go back down. Okay, and along the bottom you can see the little boxes from here is what I put from over here into my slides. So if you play just this one frame, you can go over here and hit play so that I can see if I like it or not, if timing is good. Now you also notice I had music, any sort of audio you'll add at the end. On this one I decided to add music. You can add a voiceover, and I'm going to show you that at the end. So for now, that will just show me this one frame. If I want to see the entire, everything I've done to this point, you have to go back to the first slide and play, and it'll go through. Okay, but for now I'm working on this one. So let's look at this one here, okay, where I put in the character and all of this. I'm going to show you how you can do this. So I picked a character from the side. Okay, and I picked text. Now I'm going to scroll up a little bit because there's another whole set of tools up here. Okay, this is if you're making a new slide. Okay, save, and that's one of the things too, you have to remember to save as you're going along. It doesn't automatically save. Okay, you have your cut, copy, and paste. This is where you can add text. This is where you will add your sound at the end. You can add in images, pictures. You can add in video. This grid will add a grid to the back if you want, if you're using like something in math or numbers. Okay, if you just click it, it'll turn it off. And this edge adds a little shadowing. You can see that it got a little different. I'll do that again. It's like a gray shadowing, and it, depending on the color, if you have a blue, it'll be a darker blue. So it goes along with the style that you have there already. So when you start your Pow Toons, there are tons of free templates that you can use, and you can see tons of them here. So you can, if you like a coloring or a style, you can actually pick one of those and edit it and change the text to fit your needs, or you can just start with a blank template. So for now, let's just recreate one of those scenes. We're going to start with a blank template, and I'm going to put it on the one we were using, the style we were using before. I'm going to go along the top. And there's the one that we were working with before. So I'm going to just come to the bottom, and I want to see what kind of background I want to put in here. I think I like that one. Okay. And right now, it looks like this frame is 10 seconds. So I'm going to wait and see what I end up putting in there if it works. And I'm going to look for my animated character first. And I want Happy Dad. So I can move him around wherever I need him. And you can change the size or rotate if you need to, make him bigger or smaller. So I'm going to say I want it that size, and I'm going to place him right here. And right now he's coming in at the exact start of this frame. I want to have him transition in, so I'm going to maybe move him over a little bit. Okay, it's at 0 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of that so I can see everything else that I want, and now I'm going to look for my transition. And maybe I want to have him zoom over from the right. So I click on that, and up here it changes it to camera right. Okay, so now he's in the entire frame. Okay, so let's say I want him to come in at the beginning. Now I want some text. Now if you're not sure if you want which effect you want, you can always hit plain text and change it later. Right now I want word for word, so I'm going to click on that. Again, with the crosshairs you can move it around. So let's say I'm going to put it here. You can change the fonts, the size, the color. I want the color to match his vest, so I'm going to pick green. I'm going to double click and it brings me to this other window. Okay, and here it shows you what this will look like. Play it again. That's how that looks. So I'm going to type and I'm going to hit apply. Oh, one thing I realized, I want my text centered. Maybe I want it a little bit bigger. I'm going to double click. I'm going to make it maybe size 48. And then I'm going to hit apply. And there's my text. Okay, and where it is good. So now I'm going to go down. You can just click off that box, it'll place it there. So now if you look at the bottom, the text comes in after the character, which is what I want. I want him first, and then I want this to kind of zoom in. So just to play it again, just to see if it's what I want, let's start at the beginning. And I can play it. Okay, the text is what I want. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to go back. Okay, because the character, now I'm going to click on the character. I don't want him at the start of the frame, so I'm going to actually have him come in at a half a second. Okay, and then I need some sort of transition for him. So let's see how this looks right now. Go to the beginning. And there's my transition. He slides in, and there's the weekend text. Okay, if the length is good, then I'll leave it at 10 seconds. If I need to, I can make it a little less. Now let's say I want more text to come in around 6 seconds. I want to say something else. Or I just want to have a bunch of hearts come in. So I'm going to click on the heart. And now, because my cursor is here, it put it there. Let's say I want the first heart to come in at 6 seconds. And I want it over here. And I'm going to have maybe a bunch of hearts come in a row. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put one here. And you can see they're down here. There's more than one. 2. I want the second one. And then I'm going to click again, and I have my third heart, which is down here. Okay, my first one, kind of got over there. All right. So now I have 1, 2, 3 hearts. This one is going to come in at 6 seconds, and I want it to stay till the end with all of them. Now I have to highlight this one. Maybe that one's going to come in a little bit after and stay till the end. And then this one, let's say 7. Okay. I'm going to move this one over a little bit. All right, so I'm not really sure right now if this is what I want. So I'm going to go back, scroll to the beginning, and I'm going to play. And I see there's a lot of time between my hearts. So let's say this heart, I want to edit, and I want to move it down. Instead of it coming in at 5.5, I want it coming in at 4.5 and staying till the end. And then this one becomes 5.5 and stay till the end. And then this one, you hit 6.5 and stay till the end. All right, let's play it again. That went to my next slide, so I'll just go back up here. Okay, bring my cursor back to the beginning and hit play. Okay, so you get the idea. It still took a few more minutes. If I want those cards to come in a little bit sooner, then I would do that here. If I want the entire slide to be a little shorter, maybe 10's a little long, I'm going to bring it down to 9. Okay, and this is how you can place things on this timeline and how you fix where you want them. So if you noticed with this heart, this is telling me it's transitioning in with this angle, and then it's going to the end. Let's say I want to take this first heart off instead of having all three going in at once. Then I would click on here, and I could say that this heart's going to end at 6 seconds. So now, you don't even have to go all the way to the beginning to play it. Look and see if you like that effect. The other two, one coming out. So it really depends. You have a lot of options of how you want this to look. And once you put things in there, everything is very editable with this timeline and these different elements at the bottom. So it just takes a little time to play to see what you want and what desired effect you're looking for. Okay, so let's continue to add on to this. Now as you can see, it automatically did 3 slides. First, you can always add more at the top with the plus or take something away. So I'm going to go to the second slide. And remember how I said that you can mix styles? So let's go to this style. Let's say I want somebody else in there. I'm going to look at my backgrounds. A lot of times some of them are the same. I'll just pick this blue one for now. Okay. And what's different in this one are the characters. And I'm going to look for this character. Okay. And I'm going to put him right here. Okay. And there is something here if you want. It says the animation settings. If you click on that, if I don't want to see him snoring and sneezing, I can click this no animation. I can have it play for a certain amount of time, make it slower or faster. Play in a loop is what it's doing right now, which means it just keeps continually going on and on. If you don't want it to do that, if you want it maybe for him to just do one little snore with the Z's, then you could take that off and it would do one, and then you can time it. For now, I'm just going to leave it continually going. Okay, and I'm going to add some more text. So I'm going to go back to my text effects. And let's say I want them to roll in. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to move this up. I don't want it green anymore. I want it to be, let's try pink. Okay, and let's change the font about that one. And now I'm going to click on it. And I want it to say I'm going to sleep. And let's see if I want to see if I really want that letter rolling. Okay, we'll try it. You can always change it later. So, and I still have it on my center. Good. So I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so now I want to see how I'm going to click off. So I'll keep that there. I'm going to bring my cursor back. Now again, I don't want him in there at the start. I want him to kind of fly in. So I'm going to move this over a half a second. He is going to stay till the whole end of the slide. So I'm going to leave this line going that way. And I'm going to pick a transition. So I'll go here and hit more. And what do I want him to do? I'm going to have him zoom in. Okay. And let's see how that looks. Okay, actually, we have to go back here. Okay. And let me check that again because I kind of didn't see my text there. Okay, so maybe with longer text, I may not want that to roll in. I might want it to come in a different way. I can always go back and change it. Okay, and then I can also add all of these other type of items that we did. There's more characters, there's props. So let's have we'll have a little bubble come in, a thought bubble. And I'm going to move it over here. And maybe I want the text to go away by that point. So I'm going to have my text here. And you can see if you slide this back and forth, you can see where it comes in. So let's say I'm going to have my text right about there. Go out. And then maybe go back to the text for a second. It goes out at 5. And 5 is where my thought bubble comes in. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to go back, play it. And then you can go from there. Okay, so as you can see, everything that you do can be changed. You can switch styles, you can add certain things in from different elements. It's very, very customizable. One really important thing we forgot to do is save it. So if we hit save right now, it just has the name blank because we didn't name it. So let's go back out to the dashboard. Okay, and here's our slideshow that we started working on. If we hit edit, okay, there's a little pencil next to the name here. If you click on that, okay, we can call it weekend. I don't want blank in there, so let's take that out. Weekend. Renames it. Okay, and now it's in my list on my dashboard. Okay, so let's go back and finish this up. Let's pick a slide here, the last slide, and I'm going to move to this style. Before I was on that other style, this one, the one that it started on, this guy. So I'm going to move to this one because some of them have some different backgrounds and different props. So just to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick this background just to have something different. Okay, or actually there's some more there. Let's see. And those are just colors, so, or maybe let's see what this one is. I like that one better. I'm going to pick that one. Okay, and then I'm going to come up and see what kind of props I want. Seen some before. Here we go. Let's look in here for Valentine. And I'm going to put a cupcake. I'm going to put a couple of cupcakes. Okay. And I'm also going to add some text. See what effects I have available here. You know what? I'm going to leave this one plain. And I'm going to go up here. I'm going to double click it. I'm going to change color and the font, and I'm going to type and I want it to go across the top on one line, so I'll extend that text box. Click out of it so I can move it, and I'm going to center it right there. Okay, now I'm going to come down and look, and I'm going to have my cupcakes, I think, pop in. I'll have one go here, and then number 2 over here, and then number 3 over here. But I want to do what I did before about having them pop in. So I'm going to have this one come in, and maybe it'll stay till the end. And that comes in at about, let's move this in 1 second. And then I'm going to have this one come in a little later at 2, and that one 3. So let's see what I'm doing there. Okay, so I kind of don't like where my text is, so I'm just going to center it out a little better. And this cupcake too, I want to move a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to check it again to see if that's what I want. Now that we're done, let's add music. Okay, now again, you can add a voiceover. So you click on sound. Okay, here's the voiceover. You can record it right here. All right, if you hit play right there and record as you're watching the screen, and you can have your voice. Okay, or you can have music. You can import a file from somewhere on your computer. It does come with a few free ones here that you can use, so I'm just going to pick something that is free that we can use for now. Anywhere where it says add. So let's add this one. And I'm going to apply it. Okay, and now you'll see that there's a music track. So we'll start from the beginning. Okay, so that's my completed Pow Toons. Once you're done, you can export it using this button. And with the free version, it allows you to export your movie to YouTube. Okay, you have to pay if you want to download it as an MP4, but you don't really need to do that. So if you upload to YouTube, okay, you can do that. When you click there, you hit next. It will save it to YouTube for you. And then when you go back out to your dashboard, okay, so I didn't publish that one, but the one that I have published is this How to Draw Conclusions. Okay, the one we were working with in the beginning. So if you show details, it'll bring you down here, sharing. Here's your link to share it, and here's an embed code if you want to put it on another web page or view it that way. Okay, so those are ways that people can find your Pow Toons. So as you can see, it's a very all-inclusive program. There's a lot to do, a lot of playing around that you can make it look differently and change with colors, and you can do all sorts of different ideas, tutorials for either teachers or for students.